Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Considering that we live in a world that tries to manipulate our feelings, thoughts, and actions, just imagine being able to attain peace and happiness no matter the situations around you. That's not just formidable, that's simply revolutionary. It is about taking charge of something a lot more important and within our reach, our minds. It is not about taking charge of the world, but of our inner selves. Stoicism teaches us resilience, gratitude, and ways to lead a fulfilled life. The bombshell is, this is not just a history lesson, it's about you and your life. It's about tackling the chaos of the modern world without losing your composure. It's about being able to find happiness in the pain and calm in the chaos. It's about changing the dread of your mornings into a feeling of empowerment, ready to fill the day with purpose and joy. If you've ever felt weighed down by the hectic noise of life, if you've ever wondered how ancient wisdom can work as a secret weapon in the 21st century, then stick around. If you've ever found it hard to get even a moment's peace, this just might be the video that changes everything for you. As you can guess, all these methods stem from Stoicism, so let us proceed to the next activity that aims for happiness, optimism, flexibility, and systems thinking. The goal of this activity is to develop a welcoming and happy environment. Your attention is particularly needed within this video from the beginning to the end. In case you reach this point, it's evident that you are not like the rest. You are exceptional. You are not an average person and have set goals of deepening your understanding and wisdom from this content in particular. This makes you even more outstanding. It seems like a complex phrase, but it's actually a remarkable concept from Japan, where dividing complex processes into smaller groups yields better results. 1. Find your ikigai, finding meaning in every day of your life. It refers to the circle in the center of an ellipse, which both corresponds to your goals and what society demands, as well as actually pays for. It is the singular definition that places stock to one's existence. Picture this. You wake up with a purpose that makes your heart race every single day, and the idea of pressing that snooze button is mere nonsense. Marcus Aurelius was not only concerned with life issues as he popularized accepting life suffering, but rather maximizing every single opportunity that one is given. He reminded us that it is in our steps that we have agendas for every single day that allows us to offer to the world our best self. Reflect on this in relation to ikigai. It is not just discovering your passion, but also something that the world values and you are good at. That's where the magic happens. How does one begin this pursuit of uncovering their ikigai? The first step is contemplation. Begin by asking yourself questions like, what are my passions? What skills do I excel at? How can I help the world? What is my potential salary? Try not to stress out if the answers do not come to you instantly. What matters most is the journey of figuring out the different dimensions of your life and interests and where they might meet. This search for your ikigai is not just some light effort exercise. This is where you lay down the groundwork for a life full of meaning and satisfaction. When you align your daily actions with your deep-rooted purpose, even the most boring tasks seem rewarding. You become more engaged and emotionally invested in your relationships, and, as a result, they blossom. Your true passions help to enhance your creativity. Happiness as a whole is not as fleeting and becomes a constant companion. So, next time you consider setting your alarm for tomorrow morning, reflect upon what ikigai signifies for you. What could be the reason that compels you to jump out of bed with excitement? Keep in mind that this is not about transforming overnight. This is a process, a gentle nudge waiting to happen. As Marcus Aurelius would remind us, it's about putting in the work every single day with faith and respect. Finding your ikigai is not only about achieving self-actualization, but trying to make you realize how you fit in the mosaic of life. The ancient Stoics, and especially Marcus Aurelius, believed that our endeavors should be meaningfully directed and accounted for, not just carelessly thrust at random, but tempered and driven by purpose and intention. 2. Get yourself ready the night before, setting up the landscape for triumph. This concept makes responsibility towards your next day simple. The groundwork is set the night before. The quality of your morning hinges on how your evening unfolds. There is more to it than binging your favorite series till the break of dawn, or scrolling through social media until your eyes begin to blur. Shifting the focus towards what gets you settled for the next day is much more beneficial. Realize that your brain needs time to de-stress, reflect on everything that has happened in the day, and get prepared for the aftermath. Where an effective pre-sleep plan comes in handy is, well, sleep. Consider treating your evening the same way you would treat any fundamentally significant aspect of your life. This is not about micromanaging your evenings to the point of taking away any joy. It is about making sure that the environment you are in supports your well-being and prepares you for the next day. For example, limiting the amount of time spent on screens 1 hour prior to bed isn't about taking away your relaxation. It's the idea of informing your mind that it is now time to slow down, improving the chances of waking up refreshed. A good example of this would be planning for the next day. It could be something as simple as thinking about what your 2 to 3 most important tasks of tomorrow are. This alone has the power to give a sense of direction when waking up. And this is exactly where the Stoic mindset shines. It is all about acceptance of what is within our control and what is not. While it's true that we cannot control the mundane details of our day, we can largely control how we start our day. And don't underestimate the impact some meditation or deep breathing exercises have on calming down the mind. This is not just superstition, as it is a reliable technique that communicates to your body it is time to relax. The process of taking slow, deep breaths, yes, will help in reducing stress, lowering heart rate, and subsequently preparing the body for a deep, restorative sleep. It's probably the closest thing to pressing a reset button and ensuring one wakes up not just refreshed physically, but also mentally and emotionally. This may seem like an impossible task in our fully connected world, but it is hugely important for how you spend the rest of your day. Imagine this: the feeling you get your first moments in the morning without emails, the social media notifications, or the news cycle. Your thoughts are echoing in the serene quiet of the dawn, and it's only you. That's not just refreshing, it's empowering. Marcus Aurelius is best known for being a proponent of living a life of focus and intention, and he did not get distracted by notifications in ancient Rome like the rest of us. 3. Avoid morning distractions, embracing serenity. And trust me, he suffered from distractions woes. Not only that, but he also stressed how it was critical to focus on the actual task at the moment. He knew what many do not know, which is extremely important today. The attention that you give has the quality of the attention determines the life that you live. How do we use this in the modern world? To begin with, it's about macros, a word I coined to represent the absence of ads and other digital distractions during the morning time. It's not about rejecting technology, versus choosing when to use it. It makes sense to roll over and check your phone, but that isn't the most proactive way to start your day. It becomes reactive with people around you, and by ignoring everyone else, giving you the blissful start to your day instead. Consider spending the first 60 minutes of your day with things that will enrich your intellect and stimulate your soul, like watching, reading, meditating, journaling, or simply staring out of your window with a strong cup of coffee. This is not time wasted because it is an investment in your health. Not all distractions represent stress, and by avoiding them, you're creating a calmness that is needed throughout the day. Maximizing your mornings isn't about adding to your list of activities to get done. Instead, it is about removing all the unproductive activities that waste your time. Essentially, it simply means identifying the most important aspects of your life and addressing them before distractions start crying out for your attention. This is where the Stoic approach of concentrating on what's your responsibility comes in the picture. While you might be flooded with emails that you cannot control, one thing you are in complete control of is when and how you choose to engage with those emails. So for tomorrow, encourage yourself to refrain from hitting the bar for drinks after work and go to bed early. Force yourself to wake up for a morning walk, instead of reaching out for the phone the instant the alarm goes off in an attempt to kill the peace. Avoid putting on the TV in the morning as you are getting dressed. Leave the house without the phone, and leave the shoes until you're outside. Remember, we get the same set of time every day, but every morning we have the unique opportunity to be more proactive, calm, and closer to the picture of who we want to be. Let's stand by that ambition for the entire day, inspired by the unique idea of waking up grounded in the Stoic mindset of shutting out all distractions that obstruct focus. The focus on what is worthy of your time and consideration is the very essence of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. These people weren't merely speaking on withstanding life's struggles with a tough demeanor. They meant that one should take a more proactive approach toward life, in which one takes responsibility for their actions as well as their thoughts. The strength of rituals. Wake up at the same time. Every morning, we are on power over how we begin our day when we wake up at a distinct time every day, meaning we are not controlled by outside forces. If we believe in these principles, then it can be clearly understood that waking up at the same time each day is how we begin the day with a pleasant and calm mind. The Stoic approach of creating a life wouldn't be so simple if it wasn't based on actionable steps. Setting an alarm for the same time every day is an actionable step every individual can take to creating a stable foundation for their day and feeling a sense of purpose from the moment they wake up. A lot of things must happen after they wake up, so it is important to not feel like they are rushing at all from the second they get out of bed. But here's the thing, it is always easier said than done. It can feel like a roller coaster to keep this consistency. During the initial stages of trying to wake up at the same time every morning, it can be a hard task, contrary to what it sounds like, but everything becomes easy with practice. Hitting the snooze button feels more tempting right now, especially with this bed seeming more comfortable than before. This is the moment where the act of perseverance comes in. It aids you in recollecting your motivation. For instance, contemplating the individual you are shaping yourself into through this form of discipline. You need to pay attention to the term discomfort and understand that overcoming it will bring long-term advantages. Being an early riser isn't solely about enjoying early mornings. It encapsulates willing yourself to being one who stays determined, focused, and in control all day long. It transcends all forms of actions and possesses the ability to make you a master over yourself, allowing you to shape a life that meets your expectations, one afternoon at a time. So how is it possible to make consistency our best trait? Firstly, decisions need to be made the day before. Think about your motivation behind why waking up at a particular time is crucial to you. This will help in remembering the reason why you need those extra minutes in bed. Are you wanting to read or meditate in peace, or perhaps do some exercises instead? Or are you simply wanting a controlled way to start your day? Next, construct an environment that encourages your new habit. Try going to bed is slightly earlier than usual, so you can wake up naturally, well rested. You might even want to consider leaving your curtains slightly open. And when it becomes challenging, don't forget the Stoic approach to self-control, which also values our ability to act according to our principles. When every morning you wake up at the hour you intended to, you are not only beginning your day, but also fulfilling a promise you made to yourself to live with intention. 5. Unwind. The approach of self-kindness. Among all these beautiful discussions on discipline, consistency, and the importance of waking with the sun, it's so helpful to remember one thing. We are, after all, human, and as humans, we are wonderfully sophisticated systems with an internal mechanism that leans towards instant gratification, which makes things much easier. This is exactly what makes transforming our mornings so difficult, almost daunting at first. Admitting this fact, however, is liberating because it's not a flaw. It's part of the wonderful world of humanity. Now let's think of the concept from a Stoic point of view. From a Stoic perspective, it reminds us to practice self-kindness as well as self-understanding, alongside its emphasis on discipline and resilience. In the personal notes of Marcus Aurelius, he constantly used to remind himself to show patience and forgiveness towards himself on his mistakes. He understood that defeats are not achieved by punishing oneself every time for a stumble. Instead, he said that one should recognize their mistakes, learn from them, and subsequently set them free. This method is important when trying to build new morning routines, or any habit for that matter. The first few days or even weeks can be challenging. The alarm rings, and the comfort of the warm bed shouts and tempts you to go back to sleep. And if we are being honest, there will be days where you will lie back and give in to that temptation, and that is perfectly fine. What is more important is what you do after that. Do you start feeling guilty, which ultimately leads to a self-loathing spiral? Or do you take a breath, forgive yourself, and embrace the next morning as an opportunity to have a go again? Forgiveness and self-acceptance are signs of strength and wisdom. They tell us that we are in for the long run and are ready to face the ups and downs with poise. This prescribed form of self-compassion relates to accepting who we are, working with it, and gently pushing ourselves towards the life we believe in. Besides, going easier on ourselves is not about seeking excuses or letting ourselves systematically miss our aims. Rather, it is about understanding that reaching our goals is full of learning obstacles. It's about noticing that each day has a distinct set of problems and possibilities. We find our resilience in captivating the strength which comes from extracting ourselves from such renewal every single day. As you continue to work on welcoming those mornings, or any other new ritual, make sure to go easy on yourself. You should reflect on the small wins that you garner and strive from your falls, while resolving to face every new day with the benevolence of a heart eager to try again. 6. Trivial acts of control. Nurturing a steadfast life. It's not only about sporting that new title of a morning person with pride, it is about getting into a frame of mind that encourages soft determination for life's challenges. Think of something as simple as putting your alarm clock outside the bedroom. It's not just about making it less behavioral appealing to sleep back in after hitting snooze. Everything begins with a statement, a pledge for waking up despite the bed's thighs gripping around you. It is an act of resistance against the sleep and comfort, and an initiator for welcoming in the day. Likewise, tidying the bed may seem like a meaningless chore, but this too surfaces when no one is around to notice. A task that is much more than pulling up blankets and putting pillows in shape. It is a reminder that everything around you and how you choose to interact with it is important in itself. It's about creating an environment which mirrors the respect and order you are trying to cultivate within yourself. As could have easily been pointed out by Marcus Aurelius, such minimal triumphs serves as the foundation for life's discipline. They've been integrated so much into daily life that most don't even realize it helps shape their personality. These minimal changes allow you to make a decision to us. It provides the fans with the choice of controlled setting, order, respect, and discipline to ground themselves in. But why put so much effort into such minute changes? Because of how accessible it is to everyone. Not us are in charge of determining the important aspects of our lives. The chaos, the surprises, but the beginning of each day is in our control. We have control over how we orient ourselves to the world around us and how we prepare ourselves for whatever is to come. This is taking action at its finest, attending to what we can control and disregarding what we cannot. These frameworks of discipline are not meant to exist for the sake of existing. They serve a greater purpose, to prepare one's mindset in anticipation of a major life challenge. By performing these simple acts of self-control, you are preparing yourself for where your responsibilities would lie. You are teaching yourself to rest in the eye of the storm and enabling your life to be governed by tranquility. These are the qualities, the focus, that defines a Stoic ideal. When looking at self-discipline, remember to look at the overall picture, but start off slow. Be conscious of the little things throughout your day. The calmness when on waking, when you understand that you have control over how you want to face the day, is key. 7. Accountability. Partners sharing the journey. These practices are not chores to be checked off a list. Rather, they're integral tasks so that life becomes more meaningful while taking part in something that is directed towards a goal. Sharing your objectives with someone who understands them is not only simple, but influences the chances of success immensely. It makes splitting a person undertaking into a group task easier, and giving a person an objective easier, which means that fulfilling the ultimate objective, a quest for life purpose, and doing morning tasks becomes more enjoyable rather than scary. Think of your self-improvement accountability partner as a supportive friend. This ally brings you reminders of what you've committed to when you would rather stay wrapped up in the warmth of your bed. They motivate you when it seems as though progress is stagnating, and they celebrate your accomplishment, whether small or big. This bond is a reciprocal connection. It means helping and motivating each other, with the assumption that each one of us is trying to become our best selves. The Stoics, such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, often spoke about the importance of pertaining community and relationships to the development of character and virtue. To them, it was possible to learn from each other, and this shared wisdom mattered. And from the strength that comes from knowing you are not alone in your struggles. In the modern especially, locating an accountability partner is much easier, a reminder that while self-discipline and purposeful actions is a personal undertaking, it doesn't have to be done in isolation. Also, an accountability partner can identify gaps or approaches within your routine that you may likely overlook. Indeed, this type of partnership is much broader than simply inquiring if you stayed true to your set goals or even completed your morning rituals. It encompasses much more. This cooperation is centered on having constructive discussions on what worked, what did not, and how goals can be adjusted for the better. So how do you find these accountability partners? Someone who is already invested in improving themselves, either drags or inspires people from their social circle to self-discipline and work on goals. This can be your friend, family, and even an acquaintance or work colleague. What matters is that you open up to them about your aspirations, challenges, and achievements. Once you're clear on the objective you seek to achieve and the support you need, ensure to have regular check-in sessions. Proffer assistance, encouragement, and gently nudge each other back on track when necessary. 8. Memento mori. The significance of the day. Modern society highlights a paradigm shift towards personally driven accountability. It's worth underlying that the partnership shall motivate both sides to leverage the strengths of each other on a more emotional and psychological level. It is about shedding the daily cramped schedule and offering a helping hand and compassionate ear. This collective space allows intertwining of morning rituals and macro goals, leading to purposeful, evolved life. Reflecting on one's own death should be life-giving. It has the potential of prompting action on leading a more purposeful life. So why would anyone care about living with purpose? Because dying with no impact whatsoever leaves behind is a terrible gift to society and its people. We all have an opportunity every single day to change how we approach life and set goals, all which can leave a lasting positive impact. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations about how death plays a huge role in reminding us how precious and short life is. Thus, we must live virtuously and make the best out of the shard of time we have. This thought is not meant to be depressing. Rather, it's a liberating thought that takes the weight off of mundane matters, thereby allowing a person to focus on his duties as an emperor and a human attempting to be as virtuous and as he can. The crux of the thought is that to live with clarity, a person should keep the end in mind, which will help him prioritize the relationships that truly matter. Remembering death the way I've described changes, appreciating mornings and the morning routine completely, thereby changing how we live each day. The day starts with the perspective that it is something that has been granted, rather than a day that is entitled to every other person. This transformation can drastically alter the way a person decides to spend his time, the way he nurtures relationships, the legacy he builds, and the activities he indulges in. It serves as a reminder to live life to the fullest, love people deeply, and try to improve the world, even if just by a little. Additionally, this exercise enables us to keep a healthy perspective regarding life's challenges and setbacks. Unpleasant situations and interference from other people are not the most important, and when we bear in mind that our time is limited, they greatly lose control over us. We develop strategies, mental frameworks that are much tougher, focused on our long-term goals, and less easily swayed by the fleeting problems. This practice cultivates appreciation for the present moment and enables us to relish in what is being offered. So, how do we tackle the integration of this Stoic principle into our day-to-day activities? It starts easy, with just a few moments of self-contemplation. 9. Negative visualization before facing a problem. Instead of painting the day with a distinct brush every morning, make it a point to consider a blank canvas. For example, ask yourself, will I be proud of how I'm choosing to spend this day, should in actuality be my last? This does not entail you need to be perpetually morose, but rather shift your focus on now, on what is being provided. In remembering our death, a Stoic practice, the focus is not on the death we're awaiting, but how we choose to live every single day of our lives. Impressive antidote to complacency, and a garner to live life with intention, purpose, and gratitude. Let's remind ourselves at the start of each day that it creates an opportunity to sculpt a life rich with meaning that resonates with our utmost cherished values. This is the true form of Stoic living, of making the best of the limited time we each get on this planet to build a legacy that serves us long after we're gone. We seem to live in a world where, for example, people are happy focusing on everything positive, like believing that success and happiness can actually be attracted into their lives with the manifestation of the vision board. Even so, the Stoics believed, and I tend to agree, that there is a different, deeply practical way of offering ourselves empowerment, which is inspiring. The negative practice of visualization is not a practice of pessimism. Rather, it is a tool for resilience, preparation, and ultimately greater appreciation of the present. The essence of this practice is to imagine the challenges, losses, difficulties you will face in life, and appreciate the efforts it is going to take to overcome those hurdles one step at a time. This could be anything from the smaller, like having a tough day at the office or having a rough, bad cold, to more life-altering suffering, like losing your job or someone that you loved dearly. The scenario is not to overthink and stir fear to yourself, but mentally prepare yourself for how you would handle such a situation, keeping your thoughts in check. This process of visualization prepares you emotionally, making you less susceptible to being thrown off course by life's inevitable ups and downs. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all believed that everything is temporary. Thus, by contemplating the world outside, one can train themselves to form a deep sense of peace. This practice encourages us to focus on what we can control, our responses, our attitudes, and our actions towards a situation. By incorporating negative visualization into your morning routine, you can transform how you approach your day. Instead of stepping out the door unprepared and blind to the challenges that may lie ahead, you can face them head-on. 10. End with gratitude. Reflecting on the day's gifts. It's like a mental training session. Thus, when life brings unhappiness to you, you become stronger to tackle it head-on. These days, you aren't knocked off your feet. You, having previously thought of this moment, allows you to draw from your pre-visualized strategies to navigate through it. In addition, by daydreaming about something that is totally contrary to how our lives are, we tend to appreciate life far more than we usually do. This occurs in a paradoxical sequence of events. When we visualize life without some common luxuries, we always tend to come back to reality with renewed gratitude toward them. It's astonishing how much we can value at this moment. This technique is not necessarily about shifting your head into negative visualization. Rather, it is about developing a firm understanding and appreciation of the existing world. So how do we practice negative visualization in a healthy, constructive way? Start with a few moments to ponder on challenges that the day or month may hold for you. After thinking about how you would tackle these challenges, what resources would you draw on? What lessons could be learned? And how the situation would help you grow? Begin your day with a renewed sense of gratitude for the world around you. The act of self-reflection can be extremely powerful, especially when repeated regularly at the start or end of each day. This has a positive effect on a person's mental well-being. One way to practice self-reflection is by maintaining a gratitude journal. As the name suggests, a person would write down moments or experiences that they were grateful for during a particular time. Practicing gratitude is good for one's outlook on life and mental health. A gratitude journal can include anything from receiving and completing a difficult task, a stranger donating their time to help you, or enjoying a picturesque sunset. What matters is that each moment is captured in writing. The most important part of gratitude journaling is to be specific and goal-oriented. The single act of jotting down goals shifts a person's mind away from sorrow and dissatisfaction to appreciation. With self-affirmation comes the confinement of wonder that one's potential can achieve. Accomplished goals then becomes the new normal, thus acting as a motivational base for more ambitious goals. This might sound as too positive for someone who is already living in a self-fulfilled illusory reality, but what matters is being able to tackle issues head-on, which in this scenario allows for a person not to wallow in disappointment, but empowers them as motivation gives way to action. But why finish the day with gratitude? The answer is simple. It allows us to close our day on the positives, no matter how difficult the day was. It's a way of finding goodness in the mess that is life, achieving serenity in chaos, and training our minds to grow and be happy in every situation. This practice of gratitude has positive impacts beyond sleep. It pulses into how we wake up and choose to spend our mornings. It takes our first awareness of the day away from grumpiness, after hitting the alarm to an excited wonder about what the new day holds in stock for us. This positive appreciation activity also has impact beyond the individual. It makes us better friends, as we appreciate those around us more and their importance in our lives. It strengthens our bond with the world as we begin to notice and appreciate the beauty that surrounds us in ordinary things. Therefore, as we look for ways to improve our mornings, and with that, it is critical to remember that balancing our life with the practice of striking gratitude at the end of the day turns out to be extremely helpful. The objective is devoid of major life achievements, external success, or wealth, but rather harmony, satisfaction, and cherishing life at this particular instant.